the big news of the day, I guess some of the big news, there's so much chaos going on in these early games. The Miami Dolphins best player, Tyreek Hill, the number one player in the top 100, voted on by his peers, was arrested on his way to the game. Arrested. What are we doing here, guys? Like, the police that are working around the stadium know what he's here to do. They know why he's here. Yeah, like, unless he was weaving through traffic or doing something crazy, which I don't have the full background on it, so I can't speak educated and knowledgeable on this topic because we haven't gotten the full story, but it doesn't seem like he was doing anything crazy. And then you see some of the footage and it looks like they're trying to rough him up, and it looks like it just didn't look like a good scene. Thank goodness everybody got out of there safe. His teammates coming to his aid. He somehow gets released, shows up to the stadium, and has a day. Now, am I saying the cops might have been Jaguars fans? Perhaps. I don't know. It just was a crazy story. Reed gets out there, 7 catches for 130, a huge, ended a drive, one-play drive, 80-yard touchdown late in the game to help the Miami Dolphins beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jalen Waddle had a really solid day. Tua Tagovailoa is still very, very effective. 23 of 37 for 338 yards and a touchdown. Devin Achane didn't have a ton of running room throughout this game. 10 rushes for 24 yards and a rushing TD, but he did have 7 receptions for 76 yards. That defense looked pretty solid. Early on, it looked like Trevor Lawrence was having his way with that defense. Second half, they were able to pretty much put that fire out. Tank Bigsby, the second-year player out of Auburn, has his best day as a pro. Really had a better day than Travis Etienne throughout most of this game. Trayvon Walker had a really good game for the Jacksonville Jaguars, 2 sacks. But, again, the final numbers just don't look crazy for Trevor Lawrence, and they needed more from him. Tua Tagovailoa, 338 in the game. Trevor Lawrence, 12 for 21, 162 and a touchdown. You just expect more from him. We'll see. Obviously, you got to give a lot of credit to Miami's defense. They got a lot of big-time players. They played well. They put a lot of pressure on them. A sack each from Emmanuel Ogbah, Calais Campbell, and Jalen Phillips. But big-time quarterbacks make big-time plays consistently. That's the reason why you get paid the big bucks. When your team needs it, you're supposed to have it. And, again, he didn't turn the ball over, so you got to give him credit for that. But, again, his defense didn't cause a ton of turnovers. So he was Trevor Lawrence's Achilles heel right now is when his defense doesn't cause a turnover or doesn't cause multiple turnovers, he doesn't often win those games. That has to change. In order for this team to get where they want to get, Trevor Lawrence is going to have to change that narrative. Your defense shouldn't have to get a turnover for you to win the game. If you're getting $55 million, second highest, third highest paid quarterback in the National Football League, they should be able to lean on you to win the game. They should be able to lean on your talent and your ability to win the game, especially against an evenly matched opponent. Both teams played well, 17 points. It was tied up at 17. Miami goes down, takes the lead with no time left on the clock, but you just need more from your $55 million quarterback. That's how I feel. The Jacksonville Jaguars next week are at the Cleveland Browns. That one feels like they should be able to get that game unless Deshaun Watson has a revelation, turns back the hands of time, and really plays like he's capable of. The Dolphins are on Thursday Night Football on Prime. I'll be there in Miami. Be there or be square, getting to watch Tua Tagovailoa and Josh Allen go at it. It's going to be a fun game, a competitive environment. Hopefully they let Tyreek get to the stadium without incident. Please, just let him get to it there, Tyreek, or just get a driver. I don't know. Just ride with a teammate, right? Riding Calais' Rolls Royce. I saw your teammates pull up on you. It looked like a luxury car showcase when your guys were pulling up, but I respect that, teammates showing up for their guy, even in the midst of adversity, controversy, heat. They were there. I can't wait for that game. I'm going to be there. It's going to be an exciting game, a division opponent. Buffalo coming off a big-time win over the Arizona Cardinals where it was a really, really tight game until late in the game. The Miami Dolphins coming into it off of a hard-fought win against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I love football season. Now we're going to move on to a young quarterback duel that we all love to see between C.J. Stroud and Anthony Richardson. This was one you had to be there for. New offseason additions, Joe Mixon and Stephon Diggs make an immediate impact. Joe Mixon, 30 carries for 159, a touchdown, 3 receptions for 19 yards. Stephon Diggs comes in and gets a pair of touchdowns in his first game as a Houston Texan. But Nico Collins, 6 for 117, and a very critical third down catch late in the ball game to seal it. But Anthony Richardson's throw early in this game to Alec Pierce is probably the story of the week. I mean, one of the best throws you will ever see. It looked like he threw it almost blind, an absolute dime. I think it was 60 yards in the air. Oh, my God. It's so much talent you're getting from this kid. Only threw the ball 19 times, completed 9 of them for 212 yards, 2 TDs. Also ran the ball 6 times for 56 yards and a TD. Jonathan Taylor comes in 16 for 48 yards and a touchdown. Alec Pierce and Anthony Richardson are going to be a duo that we want to watch for a long time. I can't wait to see what else they got in store because that was a really fun matchup. But the Houston Texans, C.J. Stroud looked really good. 24 of 32, 234 and 2 touchdowns. But there were times in this game he looks hesitant. Maybe it's just a rust getting back into things. There were so many turnover-worthy plays. Some of them got overturned by penalties. Some, the guys just dropped the interceptions. And I don't think he had a turnover-worthy play. I don't think he threw an interception until week 6 or so of his rookie year. So to see a few turnover-worthy plays early in these games, early in the season is a little bit concerning for me, but didn't end up throwing an interception. So it really doesn't matter in the long run. But man, it just didn't look the same in sometimes. But when they needed to have it, when they had to have it, he was the guy that they knew he would be, the MVP candidate that we all know he is. And they got the win, the first win in the 2024 season for the Houston Texans. But really bright future for the Indianapolis Colts. They have to feel really good about what Anthony Richardson was able to do, really good about what Alec Pierce was able to do defensively. My boy DeForest Buckner had a sack and a half. The defense was flying around.